history between the two of you. You guys have sort of been circling each other, and you referenced this in your video when the announcement was made. You said, we've had, I think you said 4 opportunities to fight each other. This is his 3rd crack at a belt. I'm going to make sure this is his last time ever fighting for a UFC heavyweight title. You said that, right?
That's what I said. Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. And then I had his head coach, Fernan Lopez, on the program. And, it was all going kind of well. And then it started to get a little spicy on his part, where he said that your talk has been annoying, that you've been whining, that it's not true, that you guys weren't in talks to fight, 3-4 times in the past. Did you see any of these comments, and did you have any sort of response to them?
Well, somebody told me about them. I didn't see them. I'm trying to. I try and stay off social media when I've got a fight coming up. So yeah. I'm not like reading through all the time. My response to them is, with all due respect, I respect coaches so much, especially really high level coaches. But with all due respect, like, his opinion is quite irrelevant to the situation. Like, I'm just telling the facts from what I know.
The remarks were pointed and clearly intended to undermine the interim champion's statements. Now, Aspinall has replied, but rather than escalating, he stayed composed, even detached. According to him, the coach's comments don't carry much weight.
From my point of view, I'm not, trying to get under anyone's skin or anything like that. Like, that's the reality that I lived. But irrelevant to what happened or didn't happen, like, that's in the past, and we're fighting each other now. We're fighting each other in October, so irrelevant to what anybody says, who's annoyed and who isn't annoyed, and whose feelings are hurt and whose feelings aren't hurt. We're going to fight each other and settle it regardless, so it's pretty irrelevant, with all due respect.
One thing that I thought was really interesting, and I don't know if he was trying to play mind games, but he said there's never been more pressure on anyone than the pressure that will be on you come October 25th, because of all the talk over the past year of you being the real champ and John Jones ducking and all that. You have to sort of validate all of this with a dominant win. What do you make of that statement?
That's great, because I fight really, really, really well under pressure. There's a couple of types of guys. I've been around martial arts for my whole life, near enough at this point. And, there's the guys who I've trained with, from my experience, who in the gym are absolute killers, absolute world beaters. And they'll get in a fight and they'll just freeze up, and it doesn't work like it does in the gym. They fight way worse. And there's other guys like myself who are not that good in the gym, but get under the lights, get under the pressure with all the chips on the table, and they get in there and do things that they would never be able to do in the gym. And that is exactly what I do, and I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths. So anytime there's pressure on me, that's when I've done my most devastating performances.
Aspinall emphasizes that the only thing that truly counts is what happens in the fight itself. The trash talk is done. He believes everything will be decided inside the cage. Yet, this back and forth has reignited the controversy surrounding the matchup since it was first announced. Fans aren't just debating who will come out on top. They are questioning what this fight means for the future of the heavyweight division. On one side stands Ciryl Gane, the former interim champion, often praised as one of the most technically skilled heavyweights in UFC history.
Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170 pounder. It's crazy. He's bouncing like Wonder Boy, like bouncing like this the entire fight, bouncing, throwing feints, like completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking. And I'm not exaggerating.
Ciryl Gane is a fantastic striker. I mean, he's one of the most beautiful strikers in the heavyweight division. He does wild stuff. You ever see how he throws that front kick from a side stance? And he throws it like a twisting kick. He stands like southpaw, right? And you see he bobs around like this. And he's totally sideways. And he twists his foot out. Like a twisting kick. He did a lot of them against Tai Tuivasa. He's so fast, man. He just does this weird thing where he stands sideways. And instead of the front kick going like this, like straight out, the front kick goes like this. So
I know. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So his knee when he lands is almost like sideways. It's just so unusual for a heavyweight, that kind of movement. But he'll show it totally sideways.
It's a little trick.
Almost like a crescent kick or something like that.
It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, na. Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Ciryl Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home, and so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Ciryl, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if it doesn't play out that way.
Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
You give him the one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if John Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that could kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
On the other side is Tom Aspinall, a dynamic and well-rounded fighter who has been dominating the division with a mix of speed, power, and technique that seems larger than life.
Aspinall will face Ciryl Gane. Aspinall has 15 wins, and all of them are by finish. Gane is the #1 ranked heavyweight.
Now, when you look at the UFC heavyweight rankings, as I say, Tom has beat most of them, and he's beat them in style, and he's knocked them all out. Curtis Blade, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, whoever they are, he's beaten them all up. But Ciryl Gane is a little bit different. Now, of course, John Jones beat Ciryl Gane in quick fashion, took him down in the first round, submitted him with a front choke. But Ciryl Gane is the same as Tom Aspinall in terms of athletic ability. When I say that Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight George St. Pierre, that kind of goes to Ciryl Gane as well. The man's gigantic. He's very quick. He's agile. He's light on his feet. He could run any sport on the planet. And he's almost like George St. Pierre and Tom Aspinall in the fact that he's got all those athletic attributes and qualities, but he doesn't have the grappling. That's what cost him against John Jones. And that's probably what's going to cost him against Tom Aspinall. You never know. He could clip him. This is a dangerous fight. This is heavyweight MMA. But Tom Aspinall can grapple. We've seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down. Show him what you can do. Show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Ciryl Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet. But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get the job done. The fact that he isn't fighting John Jones is insane, but we've talked about that till the cows come home, so I'm not going to bore you on that subject anymore. But just you wait. John Jones is probably going to pop up on Twitter.
What are your thoughts on Ciryl Gane being potentially the toughest opponent yet for you? A lot of people say somebody you've not really sort of faced that type of fighter in the heavyweight division.
I think both me and Ciryl are we both have niche style for heavyweights. We don't fight like heavyweights, both of us. So this could be the fastest, the best moving heavyweight fight that anybody's ever seen. We're both great movers. We're both light on our feet. We're both elusive. So this is going to be great. And by the way, all this stuff that I've just said previously, we actually made a video this time last year, a little bit longer, when we found out that Manchester was going to come and there was going to be an event in Manchester. When I thought I was fighting Ciryl Gane, but he declined it, we made a video there over a year ago now. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe it on the timeline, look, got my teeth done now. Look at the old video. You want to zoom in on them?
Hold on.
Got my teeth done.
Let me get right in there.
I got the teeth done now. When I did this video, this was over a year ago. Didn't have my teeth done then, so Get over there.
If Aspinall comes out on top, his case as the true heavyweight champion will only get stronger. If Gar wins, he has a chance to move past his loss to Jones and reclaim his status as the fighter to beat. From a stylistic standpoint, this matchup is intriguing. GA's movement, footwork, and pinpoint striking have given him an edge over slower, less agile opponents. He fights with patience and strategy, often forcing his opponents into mistakes through calculated pressure.
I mean, I think it's the next best thing that we could get right now with John Jones not being able to do it and stepping away. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Tom's plan is going to be, because I think on the feet, they're pretty evenly matched. I think it could be fun on the feet, but I think there's definitely a huge advantage for Aspinall when it comes to the wrestling and the grappling. And I think he'd be silly to not at least attempt to make it a bit of a grappling match and try to get the ground and pound, take him down. And we'll see. If he can defend takedowns, it could be a lot of fun. But if not, I think Tom could make some quick work. But there's a lot of pressure on Tom, man. We were talking about it on the pre-show this weekend that, you didn't get the Jones fight. You waited all this time, and now you've got to fight somebody else. And it's always tough because you want to win that one to really prove to everybody that, yeah, you are that guy. You are the great. You are the best. You're the reason John didn't want to take this fight, blah, blah, blah. If you go and lose that one, you just...
Yeah. We finally got Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Chill, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325, Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight, but the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Ciryl Gane plus 265.
But Tom Aspinall is far from an ordinary heavyweight. His speed rivals GA's. His striking is sharp, powerful, and unpredictable, and his grappling is world-class, something Gar has struggled with before. This is where the debate heats up. Critics point to GA's past loss to Francis Ngannou, where his wrestling defense faltered, and his quick submission defeat against John Jones. Aspinall's fans argue that he could exploit those same vulnerabilities, taking the fight to the ground and finishing it there. GA supporters, on the other hand, believe Aspinall is underestimating just how dangerous he can be when he finds his rhythm. Leading up to UFC 308, the MMA community has been analyzing every interview, quote, and clip with a fine-tooth comb. Some see Aspinall's calm dismissal of GA's coach as a sign of supreme confidence, while others think it's a strategy to avoid a war of words that might distract him from his training. Meanwhile, GA's camp is holding its ground, defending his reputation and painting Aspinall as someone creating hype through a false narrative. All of this only adds fuel to the fire. Now, this fight isn't just about skill. It's about pride, legacy, and proving who's been right all along. When fight night arrives, both fighters will enter the Octagon not just to claim a title, but to settle a score. Whether it ends with a display of technical striking, a sudden submission, or a grueling 5-round battle, one thing is certain. The winner will leave Abu Dhabi with more than just a belt. They'll carry respect, bragging rights, and the momentum to shape the future of the heavyweight division.